Thank you so much, distinguished guests, honorable judges, invited guests, human rights defenders. My name is Naomi Barasa from Kenya, Nairobi. I am very delighted to be here today, extremely humbled, and of course nervous to be in a Supreme Court and to be in front of judges. My biggest history of being in front of judges is being accused and being judged for causing disturbance and destabilizing peace and obstructing cause of justice. And so when I come with this kind of history, I get a bit nervous when I see when I see judges, but I'm very, very humbled to be before us. Just a bit of my history, going down memory lane a bit. In 1989, as a very young woman, I witnessed a 12-year-old murdered in cold blood by the very guy we expected to protect and love her. This fellow who was known to be the husband. Of course, a 12-year-old is a baby, but she was married to this guy. He butchered her like the very meat he had brought home and was supposed to be chopped for cooking. The same knife murdered her. In 1991, a leper, blind woman in her middle age, was gang raped to death. Once again, I witnessed that. And all along, I wondered why the state, why the government didn't do anything about this. Little did I know that they didn't really matter. In any case, they were just members of a slum. They did not matter. Their names at best appeared in an attendance record at hospital, public hospital, not anywhere beyond that. So they didn't matter. So I decided I was going to do something in my small ways. Of course, as a young girl, 17 years old, in the slum, powerless, there wasn't much I could do. But at least I had a mouth to make noise. So I chose to make noise. And I chose to make noise, but also to help to seek someone else amplify my noise. And so I set off my journey, mobilized people to protest about the violence against women in the slum, mobilized 1,000 people to do a demonstration about the killing of this middle-aged woman. Little did I know that that came with a price. I didn't know. So I continued with my business of making noise and saying, we are not going to stand it, people are not going to abuse other people's rights, women too are human beings whose rights must be respected. And one day, I confronted a wife batterer. And the confrontation resulted to the wife being taken back to their family, the batterer being temporarily arrested and put in police custody, but then also being evicted in the neighborhood. That came with a price. The pain came close home when my brother paid with his life. He was murdered in cold blood as a revenge to what I was doing. So I had to make a choice. I had two hard choices. One hard choice was to surrender and say, oh my God, I didn't know this is what it brings, and I didn't know these would be the consequences. The next hard choice was to decide my brother's death is not going to be in vain, and so decide that his death would re-energize me more, and I would even get louder. And that's what I did. I decided to organize and organize. So this award wouldn't have come at a better time when the world is experiencing shrinking civic space for human rights, where human rights defenders are being criminalized, where freedom of expression has become a criminal act. This award wouldn't have come at a better time when the UDHR is turning 70. When the Declaration for Human Rights Defenders is turning 20. For me, it can only be a moment to re-energize my energy, to re-energize the million of us, the invisible voices, the human rights defenders in the grassroots. It only comes to vindicate what we have stood for. For many years, and I thank God for my parents, they never blamed me for bringing death to our home, because people who misunderstand you could have easily said, you see, it's because of you that we have lost so and so. But my parents said, Mommy, we will support you to the bitter end. And they supported me to the bitter end. So it couldn't have come at a better time when women in the grassroots are struggling with double burdens of raising their families, but also as frontliners for human rights defense. I represent the million of women in the grassroots who have to deal with both. For me, this is a great moment. It reaffirms what we are doing. It re-energizes the work we are doing as human rights defenders. But most importantly, putting the work of human rights defenders in the proper space into the global map. So as human rights defenders, this award comes within a period where we are demanding the recognition that our work deserves. Recognition of Nobel Prize. And this is my mini Nobel Prize. I am so humbled. In conclusion, I just want to say that this award, I take it in my name, but it is a serious representation. I am a serious representation of all HRDs globally who are not able to be standing on this platform today. I represent them. The women in Bolivia, the women in Colombia, the women in Africa, the women in Kenya, the women in the slums that I grew up in. And for me, I want to remember all of those who have put their lives on the line for the world to be a better place. I really want to appreciate PBI, want to appreciate all the members of PBI. I also want to appreciate all the members of the Alliance for Lawyers at Risk for giving us this opportunity to be honored. I am extremely humbled. And I say thank you so much and bless you so much.